Hey there and welcome to the ADK Rock and Metal channel. I am of course Dave, one of your hosts. There's no Andy or Kirk with me today because we're doing album and video or EP reviews. And today I'm reviewing the album Black Citrus, or by the band Black Citrus, and the album's called Glass Mountain. It's an 8-track album. The reason we've done this, we split up the different genres between us, so we don't all have to be here to review each album. It means we can cover more albums across the channel because there are so many albums that get released every single week that we have to try and cover. So, I haven't read the press release. I'm going to read the press release in a minute, so I need to summon that. Let me bring forth the press release. Okay, there we go. We've got the press release. I'm going to have a read through that in a minute. What I do need to do is now look at tell you about what I thought. So I listened to this album a few times, 3 or 4 times I think it was in total. I'm not going to talk about individual songs. You're going to if you either like the vibe or you like this style of music, you're going to go check it out and you're going to make your own opinion about these particular songs. What I got to tell you whether I think it's worth checking out. So what are they like? Well, they're kind of a fuzzy doom, death, prog band with influences that I pulled out different. There were some of it's musical, some of it's vocal. There are bands like Paradise Lost I could reference, Tommy Victor prong vocal style, Alice Cooper is another vocal kind of style I remembered in there. It's got a really raw production from their particular performances, but I think it's intentional and it does work for this. So there's a raw production of the vocals. They haven't over-processed anything. They've got a really interesting fuzzy distortion tone on the guitar, which again I really liked. It's a very eclectic album. It's almost schizophrenic because you jump from stylizations of song. There are some up-tempo tracks, not flashy or fast, but there's definitely some mid-tempo groove tracks in there. And then you suddenly get tracks like Dionysus Eyes or One of Us, which is just full-on doom. I mean, like stuff. I mean, it's kind of interesting. But then you get Spit on a Shore, which is kind of stoner rock, reminding me of bands like Corrosion of Conformity, off of their Deliverance album, that sort of area, or whatever the last album was. I can't remember now. But if you were into that kind of thing from Corrosion of Conformity, you'd really like that, but you may not like that other doomy stuff. Shadow of Light, great track. I actually really enjoyed that one. That's a bit more of an up-tempo one for me. So it's a real interesting mix. It doesn't kind of flow naturally, so it's not an album for me that you are going to put on and listen from track 1 to track 8 back to back. It doesn't have a natural story flow that takes you on a journey. It's a mixture of different styles, different ideas from this band. Each song has its own elements that you're going to either love or not, and I think you're going to pick through this album. There's going to be songs that are going to stand out for you that you're going to go, these 4 songs on the album are great, but I don't like these other 4, and that's how it's going to work. So this is one of those albums that's going to be like, this is good for the Spotify generation, the streaming platforms, because you don't have to commit to buying the whole album. Although I always recommend people actually go out and buy CDs if they can, and get a digital download as well, so you can listen to it otherwise. But let's see what the press company has said about this. Wasn't a great press release, I have to be honest, as far as how it's printed, but... Okay, Glass Mountain is the first full-length album from the Lithuanian Dark Stoners Black Citrus. Okay, Dark Stoners Black Citrus. The album represents 2 sides of Black Citrus. Tracks 1 to 4 are melodic dark rock songs, while tracks 5 to 8 are stoner doom anthems. That makes a lot more sense, because that does split the album up, and that's what I did notice. I didn't quite understand why they went sort of halfway through and then suddenly it went all fucking doom on me. Glass Mountain will be released exclusively on cassette, but will also be available on digital. It's not exclusively on cassette then, but will also be available on digital platforms. So it's either one or the other. It's not exclusively on cassette then, is it? As far as what in physical media, I think is what I mean. They're not going to do a CD, they're going to do a retro cassette thing. Because people have started collecting cassettes again, which is odd, because the quality of cassettes was never great. The band states the album was self-produced and self-recorded in our rehearsal room. That's pretty cool then, because I did say it has a bit of a raw production, but I quite liked it, and that does make a lot more sense. Mixed by our dear friend Paulius Seminavius and mastered by Sebastian Huss. It is a collection of emotions that we've enjoyed the last 3 years. Loss of loved ones, which was Shadow of Your Light, loss of self, creative block, anger, and so on. The Glass Mountain represents life and struggle. Sometimes it's a slippery and almost impossible climb, and sometimes there is no visible shadow. We all have inner struggles that cast a shadow on our lives, but we keep it in, leaving the shadow inside us not visible to the public. We're really happy with how it turned out, and we hope there is something in it for everyone. They are psychedelic sounds with raw, sludgy tones formed in Vilnius, Lithuania, and the band has come for a few lineup changes. Just having a look if there's anything else there. No, it talks again about stoner doom scene, which again does make sense because I did pick up the stoner rock and doom. So it's glad they put it in. It's an album of two halves because I did really get that. It did feel a little bit disjointed in that element, but yeah, should we give it a score then? Because it comes out on the 13th of September. So what do I reckon? Is it we have 4 categories. You are a headliner, you are a main support, you are an opening band, or you should get back to the rehearsal studio. So Black Citrus, Glass Mountain, where do I put you? I'm going to put this as an opener, and the reason I'm putting this in there is as an album as a whole. I can't tell them as a whole band about what this would be like as a live, but this album is a little bit disjointed, and it is going to separate you. I do find if you listen to the first half and you really like that, you are going to miss out on the second half, which means only about 50% of this album is ever going to be viable to you at any given time, which puts you as an opening band on our scoring system. So this would be something like a 5 out of 10 on an album review. But as I said, and also that production level, some people are going to really like the rawness of it, but it is also a potential risk for the fact that it's underproduced. I actually thought it worked. It's specifically within the doom category in stoner rock. Underproduction can work really, really well, especially as it's a black metal likes loads of reverb and stuff. I hate that, but black metal fans absolutely love it. So there we go, Black Citrus and Glass Mountain. Now check it out. It comes out on the 13th of September, so make sure to head on over, pick up a cassette if you're into the band. Now if you enjoyed the video today, please do like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video sometime very soon. Take care.